I have just after 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the city council meeting to order. If you could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may all be seated. We do a roll call of the council members.
Lehman. Here. Hodak.
Here.
Cassidy.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Mendoza. Here. Lake.
Here. We are all present. If there's no objection, I would like to ask Chief Wedge to come up and give a presentation before we move into the rest of our agenda. Are there any objections from the floor? All right, Chief Wedge, if you don't mind coming up.
Good evening. Thank you. I'll try to be quick and not ramble on, even though sometimes I can. But tonight, thank you for letting me come up here to do the Officer of the Year award. Earlier this year, we wanted to do it, but things kind of schedule-wise couldn't make it work. So tonight, I'm here before you to do that. For our Officer of the Year, Detective Brooks Hall. I have this plaque. So read this real quick. For continued dedication and professionalism in the performance of their duties and constantly going above and beyond the call while responding to, investigating, and solving crimes. Detective Hall covers pretty much everything you can think of for us. In 2023, he handled an arson, robbery, sexual assault and abuse, felonious assault, among other things. One of the most important things that Brooks does for our department is he's maintained an open door policy for our younger officers, especially to come in and, mentor them and kind of guide them through some of the things that they do. So a little bit of a special tea for me as a chief getting to present him. So back in, I would say it was spring of 1992, I was a freshman, like Council President Schaefer, like Miss Mendoza's husband, like Miss Lehman's brother, son.
Husband?
No.
Oh, you're talking about my son?
Yes, your
Okay,
son.
my
I was just giving you a little bit there.
Okay.
So
Yes. Now I'm making the connection with the age.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
And so going back to then, so I was a freshman. It was springtime. Came back that day in my first class. I had a medical procedure in my first class. I went back to was the late great Scott Hall's class. So in that class, showed up. It was world history, I believe, at the time. Scott was pretty excited that day. We had a special class that day, all about ultrasounds. And lo and behold, Brooks, I seen the first picture of Brooks Hall in that class that day. So I can remember that like it was yesterday. Later on, Brooks did some internships, some ride-alongs, and I got to spend some time with him and watch him develop as a person and as an officer. So come on up, Brooks. So I'll present this to the group. So congratulations. Thanks. Well deserved. The other thing that we did, so this plaque had started a long time ago and it kind of came up missing. So we did the best we could for the years going back. So this will hang in our lobby going back to 2006. And we got plenty of spots going forward. So, but this will hang down there for each year as we go forward for Officer of the Year. So, all right. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chief Wedge.
Yep.
And congratulations. We'll move into the back to the meeting agenda, and we are on the minutes portion of the meeting. If someone would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, the video recorded minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Right, we have a motion by Lehman, a second by Mendoza. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Kodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved. Do we have any communications?
I do. Hold on. I forgot. Hold on. I do have another liquor license. This is if you want a hearing for a liquor license for Fostoria Oil LLC, which used to be doing business as Fostoria Food Mart. So if you need a hearing, let me know. If not, I will send this in without.
Anyone have a desire for a hearing? I think you're safe to send it.
What's that address?
That address is 202 North County Line Street.
We'll go into reports of committees, the Finance Committee.
A no update, but a reminder that the next meeting will be held on Tuesday, September 17th at 5:30 PM in council chambers.
Thank you very much. Public Affairs Committee.
Couple of events happening. The Hope Recovery Walk is this Saturday, September 7th from 10 a.m. to noon at Market Square Park, downtown Fostoria. This event is for families and allows individuals to celebrate their recovery and connect with others about additional resources available to them. There will be a 9/11 memorial service at the Fostoria Fire Division on Wednesday, September 11th from 10 to 11 a.m. for all to attend. The Fostoria Farmers and Artisan Market will be next Saturday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to noon at Market Square Park, downtown Fostoria. The 4th annual Urban Woody Brewery Oktoberfest will be next Saturday, September 14th from 3 to 11 p.m. with entertainment by Schifferly Road Band. And finally, the 14th annual Jeff Schiff Run the Res 5K is happening on Sunday, September 15th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at City Park. All proceeds from this event go to benefit the Fostoria Community Cancer Center. Please contact Susie Schiff at 419-619-2082 to register or for any additional information. Thank you.
Thank you. Law and Ordinance Committee.
Just a reminder that the Law and Ordinance Committee will meet on Tuesday, September 17th at 5:15 here in council chambers.
Thank you very much. Moving into the report of officers, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, last council meeting, we had a presentation by the EPA on the GLOW project, Get the Lead Out. Next Thursday, September 12th at 2 o'clock at the Water Department, we will have the Regional Director of EPA here to do a celebration for City of Fostoria joining up with the EPA on the GLOW project. And we will also be putting out a poster that will have a quick code on it so that you can take a quick survey to let the city and the EPA know if you know what your connections are, whether you have lead pipes or whether you're plastic or whether you're copper. So that'll be happening. And because Safety Service Director is out, one of the things I want to do is give a shout out to the street department who did a yeoman's job this week cleaning up after the storm that we had go through. We had a major tree come down. It was on power lines, so took a while to get cleaned up, but they spent the next 2 days cleaning up after that storm and really did a nice job. So thank you to them.
Thank you. Director of Law.
Thank you. We have a couple new business pieces of legislation. The first one for the water line to be installed. If you would like, I think the administration would prefer that that be passed as emergency if possible, or maybe at least at the next reading. We've had this on the books, but we've been waiting for an easement to go through, and it finally did. So I think we're ready to get that out to bid. If you guys would like to pass that as an emergency. The second one is for a couple of FAA grants that the mayor could probably talk about a little bit more if you have questions. But I believe it's for reconstructing the terminal out there. So we're getting a couple grants
Rebuild the terminal.
to rebuild it. And it's two different grants that we have some deadlines we need to meet. So we would like that one to be passed as an emergency, please. And I think unless there's questions, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Director of Finance.
Just a couple of items on the agenda. The resolution to approve the Hancock County Budget Commission's alternative method, that can go through the three reading rule. There's no need to pass that on an emergency basis. The formula did not change as far as I can tell. Their estimated revenues for us are very consistent with prior years. The other ordinance on the agenda is adjusting our permanent appropriations. And the $5,000 is for the cemetery paving that was completed or will be completed. We also have run short in our refunds in our water sewer department. So when somebody leaves, their deposit gets refunded to them. They're also forgiven after 2 years if somebody's been a good customer or a paying customer for 2 years. So we're asking you to appropriate additional $500. I think the original budget was 400, so 500 should get us through the remainder of the year. The large item on there, the $125,000 is for a CSO study. So everybody understands we're under a consent decree on our water sewer, our sewer lines particularly. And when we get these large quick rains, the amount of overflow that goes into the Portage River, we're required to minimize that. And we're going through some studies to look at that consent decree to give ourselves some ammunition to, in essence, have that consent decree changed a little bit to reflect the fact that we have a new sewer plant. We have some additional overflows that we have put in over the years since that decree was put in place. And so this study gives us the information for us to go back to the EPA and ask them to start to measure a little bit differently than how that first original consent decree was established. You'll notice it's coming out of the general fund because it is not a operating cost of the stormwater fund or the sewer fund. So that's why you'll see the $125,000 there. In our budget for 2025, we will budget an additional $150,000 to finish the study. So it's a 2-year study that needs to take place to be able to challenge that decree. Questions on that?
I had one on the first new business one. That money for that water line, that was budgeted, correct? I think we
That was
talked about
budgeted, and just to tag on to what the law director shared, if you could pass that and suspend the 3 reading rule, it would be good for the city to do that because what we're using to pay for part of that sewer or water line is our remaining ARPA funds. We have roughly $232,000 of ARPA funds remaining. Those dollars have to be committed this year or we lose them. And getting this easement has taken, what do you think, Mayor, 3 months?
Yep.
At least. But we finally got the easement. So if we can continue to get that project moving forward, get the bids out, get committed to, the project doesn't need to be completed by the end of the year, but it needs to be committed. So if you could suspend the 3 reading rule on that, it would be appreciated.
Are the specs already prepared for that
Yes,
bid process? Okay.
yes, they are. You have more questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for your report. We are going to move into the public portion of the meeting. We have 2 people who requested time to speak. We'll start with those 2 people, and then we will go into the general public portion. So the first person up this evening is Deb Tyson.
Deb Tyson, 800 Woodward Avenue, Lot 9. I just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone here, both on city council and administration, for everything you do. And I've seen a lot of good things happen over this part of this year. We're almost through 2024 already. And uh, I, would say to those that aren't here tonight, for whatever reason, listen to the entire YouTube because that's what's coming to me. They only taking part here or part there, not even like a whole say, I said something, they only take part of it. They don't listen to the whole thing. So we don't never want to take anything out of context. But I did want to mention that we have to do our due diligence still because as today, there was a court hearing in Hancock County. And I just got the notification last night. I couldn't go. But thankfully, there were those that could go. And so these matters keep on going, and we need to be vigilant and keep doing what we're doing. And I just wanted to thank everyone.
Thanks, Ms. Tyson. Next up this evening is Renee Vogelsong.
Well, Renee Vogelsong, 702 East High Street. I was going to say two of the main ones I wanted to thank left the room, but now just one. One of them just came back. Mr. Mayor, thank you. I want to thank the safety director and the rest of y'all for putting the bins back in. And it was really great to have them back now, the recycle bins. We need them back. I just hope the rest of the city will think of it that way too, rest of the citizens. And something else I want to bring up, I had brought it up quite some time ago and everything got shuffled around and it probably just got missed. It was marked to be fixed and then I noticed it hasn't yet. Is right at the corner of Springville and East High on the southeast corner. There's a manhole cover and it's right adjacent to the blacktop. It's right at the blacktop and it is a good 6 to 8 inches up in the air. A number of vehicles has run around there. A few of them is parked in front of our house to change the tire because it's hit it. One day, a couple of years ago, one of the city flatbed trucks or trucks that had the wood sides on it, he went around there and boom, boom, up over it. Guess what? I had to make a phone call, have him come out there and send him back, get his board, and he fell off the side of his truck. It's still there. It's been marked. It was marked with some orange paint around it and some orange paint coming out to the street where it was. And I know things get bypassed, things get missed, things get shuffled around because other things takes precedence. But I just think maybe before winter hits and a plow hits it again, going around through there, maybe we might want to see about getting it.
Where is that on Springville?
It's right at the corner of Springville and East High, right at the gates where you're going into the back of the stadium, right at that sharp corner. It's on the the southeast corner. But my main objective wasn't for that today. It was to come up here and thank you all for putting those in. And I really enjoyed being able to be there to see the dedication. So thanks again.
Thanks, Ms. Vogelsong. At this time, would anyone else?
Can I say one other thing? I did have a quick question. Some time back also, it was mentioned about some company coming in and putting fibers in or putting some sort of internet system in. But that's been, 3-4 years ago? Maybe it was even pre-pandemic when they talked about that.
May have been. I think Amplex had come in and said something.
Maybe that was that sounds like the name of it. Is there anything else going on with that? Because I see there's a company of a K-Tech or something talking about using the fibers that's in the grounds here. Matter of fact, the Tribune had a story on it at the beginning of last month.
If I recall, I think council had asked about use agreements between the city's property and this Amplex company, and then it kind of fizzled out and disappeared and never came back.
Okay. I was just curious. I sort of, that rattled around in my noggin, and I thought, well, I'd ask about it. So, but back in September 3rd, I guess it was. Looking at it here, it's August 20th. The Review Times had a story about a company that was wanting to come in and use the fibers too. Is that something that's going to be something for the city to be putting out for internet for us all, or is that to where we could buy it through the city or something? Or
Yeah, I'm not aware at this point.
okay, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Don't know.
This time we'll open it up to the general public. If anyone would like to address council, we just ask that you say your name, address, and limit your time to 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Jill Affiliator, 402 West Culbertson Street. Just have a brief comment. Just checking as we get ready to look at the budget for the next year. Have we made any progress in the splash pad and redoing the bid process so that we will have it ready for in December so we don't miss deadlines and then we have a problem going into the year for 2025? That's really my only question and concern I had, to make sure it doesn't get too far behind because we're in September already. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Jill, I can address that. We are working with the engineering firm in an attempt to get it prepared to go back to bid.
Right, any other members of the public? Seeing none, we will move into old business.
An ordinance granting consent to the Director of Transportation of the State of Ohio and authorizing the mayor on behalf of the City of Fostoria, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the Local Public Agency, LPA, to enter into contracts with the Director of Transportation necessary to complete described pavement repair projects and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Mendoza, a second by Lake to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake.
Yes.
That is adopted, and it becomes ordinance number 2024-72. Next one.
An ordinance amending section 505.01 of chapter 505 of the codified ordinances of the city of Fostoria, Ohio, entitled Definitions, to include a definition of harbor.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Baker, a second by Lehman to adopt this ordinance. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
That does carry. It's ordinance number 2024-73. Thank you.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or Local Transportation Improvement Programs to execute contracts as required and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to adopt.
Who would like to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Lake, a second by Podak. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake,
Yes.
Podak.
Yes.
All right, that does carry. It's resolution number 2024-75. Sorry, 74. I'm ahead of myself here. Got it. I got it straightened out. So that is 2024-74. And the last piece of old business then. Thank you.
A resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Fostoria to prepare and submit a 2024 application to participate in the Wood County Park Grant Program and to execute contracts as required and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Mendoza, a second by Cassidy. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Podak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
That one does pass, and it becomes resolution number 2024-75. Now it's time for 75. And that does conclude old business. We will move into new business.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract with the lowest and best bidder for a water line to be installed from State Route 12 along Independence Avenue to Country Club Drive in the city of Fostoria, Ohio, according to specifications to be on file in the office of said mayor, and declaring an emergency to exist.
I move to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions. Second.
That is in order, and we have a motion by Lake and a second by Cassidy to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Hodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Lehman, I'm sorry, Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza.
If the 3 reading rule has been suspended.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Hall, a second by Cassidy to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Hodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
That is adopted. It becomes ordinance number 2024-76. And the next one.
A resolution authorizing the Director of Public Service and Safety on behalf of the City of Fostoria, Ohio, to execute grant agreements between the city and Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, for the Fostoria Metropolitan Airport and declaring an emergency to exist.
Move to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions.
Second?
We have a motion by Lake, a second by Mendoza to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Kodak,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza, Lake.
Yes.
The 3 reading rule has been waived.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Cassidy, a second by Baker to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Kodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
All right, that carries. It's resolution number 2024-77.
A resolution approving the Hancock County Budget Commission's alternative method for apportionment of undivided local government fund to be called Local Government Fund Alternative Method.
That is the first reading of that ordinance. And the last piece of new business.
An ordinance adopting and amending ordinance number 2023-66, permanent 2024 appropriations by appropriating from unappropriated funds in the general fund, water fund, and cemetery trust fund.
Move to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions. Second.
We have a motion by Cassidy, a second by Lake to suspend the 3 reading rule on 3 separate occasions. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Hodak,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
That motion carries. The 3 reading rule has been suspended.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion by Lake, second by Podak to adopt. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Hodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake,
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
If that carries, it's resolution number 2024-78. That concludes our new business. Is there any need to go into executive session? Seeing none, is there any miscellaneous business? Also seeing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Cassie, a second by Lake to adjourn. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Lehman,
Yes.
Hodak,
Yes.
Cassidy,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Mendoza,
Yes.
Lake.
Yes.
We are adjourned at 6:29.